Cloak and Dagger, aka Hustle and Flow, aka Zebra Cakes, aka It's Bigger Than Black and White. Cloak and Dagger are an interesting case in Marvel Rivals. They are what you would call a stance character in fighting game terms. A character has two different sets of attacks and abilities based on which stance they're in. This makes Cloak and Dagger unique, as they're the only true stance character in this game at the moment. Let's cover their kit and their stats, then find out why everybody uses Cloak and Dagger. For a stance character, Cloak and Dagger is surprisingly easy to use. With the 46% pick rate, they're a really good starting point for anyone new to support. Think of it simply like this. The black guy is aggressive and deals damage, and the white girl is docile and heals.
I'll get you, bitch.
We're gonna separate the abilities in two parts to make this simple though. Let's start with Cloak first. His primary attack is the Dark Force Cloak. It's a simple lock-on beam that deals 75 damage a second and doesn't need to reload. Nothing to really talk about here though. Next is Light's Embrace. Cloak swaps out to Dagger. It doesn't have any cooldown, but honestly there's nothing special going on with this ability either. Next is Terror Cape. Cloak sends out a projectile that deals 55 damage to all enemies it passes through, then it blinds them for 1.5 seconds, and it makes them vulnerable for 3 seconds. During that 3 seconds, the enemies take 28% more damage from all sources. This is by far Cloak's best ability. Spam this thing the moment it comes off of cooldown. Cloak's last ability is Dark Teleportation. This allows you to become invincible, invisible, and fly for 2 seconds. Then any ally near you also becomes invincible until they attack or use an ability. This ability could completely negate certain abilities and ultimates if you coordinate it with your team properly. But you won't be doing that, because in the cracked den of ranked, you'll be saving yourself about 5%, like 95% of the time with this shit. As we all know, Marvel Rivals is kind of having a Snow Bunny epidemic, and Dagger is the original Snow Bunny, so let's cover her. Dagger's primary fire is the Light Force Dagger. It's a homing projectile that ricochets, and if it hits an ally, it heals them for 16 HP. If it hits an enemy, it deals 15 damage. When they hit, they create a small AoE that heals any ally or yourself in the AoE for 16 HP. This isn't the best ability, I'm gonna be honest. This is pretty bad healing. 16 HP is a very low healing, but it's your primary form of healing, because you get 12 rounds of it, so you're gonna be using this a lot. You're gonna have to deal with it. So we're gonna be skipping over Shadow's Embrace, because it's literally just her version of Light's Embrace. She just swaps the Cloak. Her next real ability is a Veil of Light Force. This is super important to her kit. You're gonna need to learn when to time this ability. The Veil of Light Force is Dagger's version of Terror Cape. It's a rectangular projectile that heals any ally it passes through for 45 HP, and for the next 4 seconds, anyone hit receives 15% more healing. Use this if you need to heal someone fast, especially if you have a high burst healer like Adam Warlock to use it in tandem with. You need to make sure you get the timing for this thing right and when you need to use it, especially trying to line your whole team up with this, because it goes with the next ability we're going to cover as well. Dagger's last ability is by far her most important ability. Dagger's last ability is Dagger Storm. This replaces Cloak's Dark Teleportation. Dagger throws a projectile that leaves a healing bubble that heals 55 HP per second and lasts for 6 seconds. And if you remember what we just talked about before, a Veil of Light Force means instead of 55 HP, you will get extra 15% on top of that, and it's still gonna last for 6 seconds. This is your go-to. Throw this down, then throw your Veil over them. They get a burst of 45 HP, then they're gonna have amped healing on top of this, and on top of all of this, you can still be throwing your daggers, because this thing just persists while you're able to move freely or turn in the Cloak, so you can heal people in the bubble, turn in the Cloak, and still deal damage, whatever you want to do. Or you can just keep spamming freaking daggers at them to even get more amped healing, because you have Veil of Light Force active. Now, before I go into Cloak and Dagger's ultimate, I know they do have a team up with Moon Knight, but I won't be covering any team ups that don't give the character I'm covering a new ability. Since they give Moon Knight the ability, they just are team up anchors, so they just get extra healing at the moment. But Eternal Bond is Cloak and Dagger's ultimate.
Us against the world!
They dash forward 4 times, leaving a trail behind them that heals allies for 250 HP a second, and it damages enemies for 30 HP a second. This ultimate is the best tool probably in the game to begin a push with. If you're stuck at the choke point, now your team can create space and fight without fear of dying, unless a little birdie with an arrow hits you in the eye, or certain things being damage boosted. You get the point. But what you have to be the most careful of is giant metal rocks.
Fear Magneto!
So, why does everyone use Cloak and Dagger? Well, they're easy to use, they have decent damage, they can make their entire team invincible and CC immune, they can quite literally do it all, and arguably the best support ult for making a push in the game. Is there anything that can be changed about them to make them more balanced? Maybe lower the healing amount of the ultimate to 200 a second, and shift the damage to 40 or 50 a second. This can make it a bit easier to kill someone getting healed by the ult, and make the ultimate a tiny bit scarier to enemies caught in it. Another change I would make, help them a bit more, is to allow them to choose how many dashes they do. This is like a double-edged sword of a buff and a nerf, because the less dashes you do, technically the less range your ult's gonna have, because it won't be as wide if you stop dashing early. But on the other hand, it will help you counter things that's trying to hit you. Like if you hear a Magneto ult, you can just cancel your ultimate and stop dashing. So I think that would be a good change. As someone that's only 10 hours into playing this character and started playing them within the last week, I'm already on my way to Lord. I'm in Centurion already. And let me explain how easy it is to play this character. As someone that came from playing characters like Mantis, Luna, Snow, I play a few tanks. I don't really play DPS, I play Widow, so I play some difficult characters. Let me explain how easy it is to play Cloak and Dagger. All you need to do, 90% of the time, you're going to be Dagger. There's a few times you get to be Cloak. When you're playing Dagger, Cloak and Dagger, all you need to do, throw out Terror Cape the moment it's off cooldown. Like I said earlier, that ability is their probably best ability in my opinion. You throw out Terror Cape, if your team badly needs healing, you're playing Dagger, you go back to Dagger, Veil of Light Force, then throw down Dagger Storm. Anybody that's in that, if you hit everybody with Veil of Light Force, you will build ult so fast if they're within the Dagger Storm bubble. And then remember, you can still spam abilities at them from a distance. If you have nothing to shoot at because everybody's full health, you have lock-on projectiles that will swerve around corners and ricochet. So just spam at the enemy, because why not, literally. You might as well build ult charge off of that. If you see a teammate fighting an enemy, you can legit throw daggers at the enemy and heal them at the same time, because they'll get healed by the AoE if they're close enough to that enemy. And if you're getting those, you can throw daggers at the, if you use your Dark Teleport and your Terror Cape, and you still getting chased by the person, you can legit just throw freaking daggers in their face, and it will just keep healing you and damaging them. You won't kill them most likely, but you'll either scare them off if you somehow live long enough, you make them miss enough attacks, or you can buy time until your team shows up to help you. Either way, that's basically how you play them. The other time you get to be Cloak outside of Terror Cape is for certain situations, like if Star-Lord ults, throw the Terror Cape at them, it blinds them for a second and a half, gives you your team some time to run away. Because if Star-Lord's blinded, during that 1.5 seconds, he is literally useless. He can't see, and his auto lock turns off during his ult for that little bit of time. So that's your team a chance, and then you mix it with Dark Teleport. You're pretty much buying 3.5 seconds for your team to try to get away to a safe area. But other than that, the only other time you get to be Cloak is when your ultimate is up. Because you pop your ult, and then you turn to Cloak, because you don't need to heal. You don't build any ultimate while your healing is up. So while your ult's up, you can't build more ult charge, obviously. So you might as well turn to Cloak, throw a Terror Cape out, and then, they take the burst damage from the Terror Cape, they take in the extra damage from your ultimate because the Terror Cape hit them, and then you're using the Dark Cloak beam on them, and now what do? They do nothing besides get shredded. They get free push, or they have to sit there in it and hope that you can just keep them alive. And you build ult so fast, don't be scared to throw that ult out. Literally, it's that simple to play Cloak and Dagger. Well, that's all I got for you. With the support exodus going on, I've seen a lot of Cloak and Daggers recently. I'm guessing that's some DPS players trying to fill in the support gap. Let's just hope Ultron to shake things up for the support players. I'm still sticking with Mantis and Jeff for the most part though. I hope you guys get at least 2 supports in your games at a minimum. And if you're gonna play Cloak and Dagger, just remember, watch out for those goddamn planetary devastations and those rocks that Madara likes dropping. Madara Magneto throw rocks, I'm just saying, it's starting to seem somewhat similar. Anyways, True Kings, and I'm out.